Good afternoon, kids. Mr. Tom here with another Sunday school lesson. This week we're in John chapter 8, and it's a very interesting and a very combative chapter where Jesus continues to fight with and discuss and argue with the religious leaders. This time he's in the temple and he's preaching and teaching the people. And they do something very uncanny. They bring a woman who is actually caught in the act of adultery, in the very act, and they take her and they bring her into the temple and disrupt everything, all of his teaching, and throw her down at Jesus' feet. And they say to him, in the law, Moses told us that this woman is to be stoned. What say ye? And Jesus didn't say anything. He didn't bite at all. He was actually sitting down at this time, and he just wrote, scribbled in the dirt or whatever that was there. And finally, they persisted, and Jesus knew exactly what they were doing, what they were trying to do, and all that. And so he turned to them and he said, "All right, stone her, but let he who is without sin be the first one to cast a stone at her." And they didn't. No one threw a stone at her. There was only one person in that entire place that was qualified to do that, and that was Jesus. And so John tells us that the older men were the first ones to leave, and then the younger men. The religious leaders left too. They were all kind of really disheartened because they thought they had him this time. They were trying to divide Jesus and Moses, and show that Jesus didn't support the law of Moses, which is the pillar of the church, and Judaism and all that. But Jesus dodged their trap, and he supported completely Moses. Moses was right. The woman should be stoned and all that. Didn't say anything about the man or how they knew this woman or anything like that. Those are other issues. But Jesus turned to the woman and says, is there no one that accuses you? And she said, "No man, Lord." And he said, "Well, then neither do I condemn you, but go and sin no more." And so that was the key. And Jesus went on and he was teaching again. And in his teaching, the issue came up about, the people being his disciples. Jesus gave them a qualified promise and saying, "If you continue in my word, then you truly are disciples of mine. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Truth is a really important concept these days, and it's one that, especially with our social media, with the elections that we just had, and with all of the stir in the world, completely, the world is gripped with all kinds of information. But you're going to have to determine what is truth and what isn't. The important thing to this is that there is truth. It's an absolute truth because it comes from an absolute God. Whether you made your bed or not this morning is absolutely true. You either did or you didn't. And you'll see that there's the world likes to try to make their gray areas. Well, I didn't exactly. They talk about white lies. They talk about bearing a false witness, as Moses wrote in the Ten Commandments and all. And it's a very dangerous thing. A very easy trap to fall into. One of the things as a businessman or as a military person, as you grow older and all that, your word is your bond, and it's very important that you adhere to that. And so Jesus stresses that you'll know the truth, because Jesus will tell us later that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And as he moves on into this discussion, the religious leaders really argue with him and they go after him. And Jesus, they confront him, and it gets heated and personal. And he repeats to them, and he says, he tells them of the beginnings of Satan and how Satan really was one that went after this, and it was his downfall. And he says, Satan was a murderer from the beginning, and he doesn't stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. He is the father of all lies. And then not only is he saying this about Satan, but he's looking to the religious leaders and saying, "You're of his son, because you're trying to say that I did things that I never did. and accuse him of all kinds of things. They accused him of being the son of Satan and all that. And so here you have the Son of God, and it's not a coincidence, I don't think, that we have this beautiful act of forgiveness in the beginning of the chapter with the woman caught in adultery, who was clearly in the wrong side of the law, but the Son of God, who made the law, forgave her, and then she's legally not bound because she asked for her forgiveness, and she admitted that she was a sinner. But now he's dealing with the religious leaders, and the religious leaders, many of them, are not going to give in to him. They're going to try to destroy him. You do have those like Nicodemus that did come to him and that did believe and repented, and they will spend eternity in heaven. But for those who don't, their sin remains with them, and so they will have to deal with that. And they are looking at the one in this case who will be the judge. So keep that in mind and stay true. Stay true to your Lord and Savior. Have a good one.